folks, this is Enrique Nardini for Play Unplugged TV at www.playunplugged.com. And today, another unboxing. We're going to be looking at the MERCS starter kit, specifically Keizewaza, their starter kit. And we're going to be doing this as part of a month of MERCS, which is going to be a special we're going to be doing over this month, the month of July. And it's going to be involving the game MERCS. You can check it out at www.mercsminis.com. And the little story behind this is that, I think this game is maybe 2.5, 3 years old. And at an Origins, I was just tooling around, checking out everything that was, new and neat and whatever. And I happened to stumble upon the MERCS booth. And I was like, wow, this is really cool. And that was actually prior to doing Play Unplugged. And so the next year, when I had already started Play Unplugged and I was going there as press, I went and I found, I sought out the MERCS booth because I thought that there was so much neat stuff with the game as far as the very unique art style and kind of the cards and all the different elements that were very cool. And so I tracked down Brian Schotten and Keith Lowe. They're the two creators. And I did an interview with Brian Schotten, and we got a review copy of the MERCS book, and I did the review. I found the book to be really cool. It was a great book, well put together. And so now, fast forward to now, and recently they put out these neat little starter kits to get you started in the game. And so with the starter kits in hand, I'm thinking, hey, let's take this and we're going to do a build, paint, and play. We'll go through the month. And so we're going to be doing one article per week throughout the month of July, focused on MERCS. Now, of course, I say a month of MERCS. It's not that MERCS is going to be the only thing we're going to dedicate to Play Unplugged. We talk about way too many games, and I can't dedicate the whole month to any one game, period. End of story. It would be impossible. There's just too much going on in tabletop gaming right now. But it is going to be cool to kind of take a more detailed look at a game. So we're going to take a more detailed look at MERCS, starting with the starter kits. So here we go. This is the Keizewaza starter kit. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that correctly, but I'm pretty sure of at least close. And this is the MegaCon that is kind of associated with Japan. And so there are no nations anymore in the game. The nations have been merged with corporations, so they become these MegaCons. And I'm going to crack open the box, and we'll see what lurks inside. So inside each box, okay, we've got this. There's some pamphlets and things that go in there. So here's the box. Like I said, a very attractive looking box as far as cool art on it and whatnot. So there's an advertisement for the rule book, advertisement for MERCS has partnered with, as many of the small miniature companies have partnered with Battle Foam. And so there's a MERCS Battle Foam bag advertisement in there. And then this is one of the interesting things. So they said on the on the materials for these, they come with a quick start version of the rules. It's amazing. They've managed to get all the basic rules down on effectively a double-sided sheet about this big. Now I will say there's a downside to this, and I'll show it under the close cam. The downside is it's like in 2-point font. So, I can read it really fine. I mean, the printing and layout's fine, but it's very, and understandably, because you have to compact into something that fits in this tiny space, but it's definitely, it's not the easiest on the eyes. Luckily, it's only 2 sheets. You can read it pretty quickly. All right, so a couple things in here. There is a set of MERCS cards. I believe there's going to be 10 cards in these decks, because all the decks, I think, are 10 cards. And this isn't like a collectible thing or anything like that. It's actually how the stats are, kind of similar to War Machine and Hordes, where they have the stats or the little foldouts that are for Malifaux. These are their stat cards. Now the difference is these glossy stat cards, so there's one, this has like a turn synopsis on it, and here's modifiers for shooting and things like that. There's some little card terrain because they do sell 2D terrain mats if you want to do it in a 2D board game style. And so things like that. And special rules. This is one of the cool things about Keizewaza. They apparently have a small tactical nuke that's kind of crazy. But it's the only way to be sure. So the thing about these are these cards, you'll see with the bevels cut out of them. This is what makes, I think, the game so unique, is the way movement is done using these cards is that you set, instead of measuring lengths of movement, you set your you set the card against your miniature's base, and you can move, spending a movement point, to one of these 3 circles. And within any movement, you can go, I think, 90 degrees per movement point. So very cool, unique mechanic, really well thought out. And there's just the production value on these cards. They're shiny, they're glossy. They seem pretty durable. I mean, like, you can give them a little bend and they seem to hold up pretty well. So you have cards for all your guys: Daimyo, Pathfinder, Demolition Guy, Sniper, Forward Observer, Heavy Hybrid. So there's a lot of, and I believe you take 5 mercs to any battle. So, you know, out of these 6, you pick the 5 you want to use. All right, what else do you get? Well, you get 6 merc figures. They're in there, and we'll take a closer look at them. And you also get 6 dice. These are faction specific. And what I mean by that is they don't have a faction symbol on them, but they are colored, the standard color for, you know, if you went with just the stock color scheme from the book, is an orange scheme for Keizai Waza, so you get orange dice. And they are custom in the sense that they have the MERCS symbol, and it looks like the MERCS symbol is a 10 on here. So there, you get 6 dice also. All right. Let's take a look under the close cam. We'll get a closer look at the miniatures and see what these miniatures are all about. All right, folks, now we're going to take a more detailed look at the MERCS minis. So real quick, just to give you a better idea of what comes in the box. Once again, a little bit of advertising, quick start rule sheet, set of cards, dice. Okay. Now, the miniatures come packed. The miniatures come packed like this. They're in like a sleeve, a set of sleeves. Okay? Each slot holds 1 pewter miniature. Let's take a look. All right. Let's see this guy with a very commanding pose here. And I think you can see quite quickly these are very detailed sculpts. Like all pewter miniatures, there's definitely some flashing and some areas that are going to be that you're going to need to clean up. But for the most part, it's a nice clean cast, very well detailed, and it'll clean up pretty easily. There's a little mold line down the side, as you know. Once again, with pewter miniatures, that's just part of the process. They're always going to have those, but the line's pretty fine, and the casting is very clean, so there shouldn't be too much of a problem to clean up. These joins, this is kind of a small ball and socket. Now this arm is very light, so that shouldn't be an issue, but it's just something to keep in mind. Let's take a look at some more of these. Again, I'm not sure without looking what all these guys are. I think this guy, oh, I think I grabbed 2 sets of legs. Hold on. This guy might be that heavy because this looks like a quite a large gun compared to the other guy's guns, and it's got this kind of barrel clip here. Once again, you know, you can see there's definitely some flashing that you're going to have to clean up mold lines, but you're going to get that with pretty much any pewter miniature. However, the casts are very clean, nice slot for your base. The game is made to be played with these beveled bases. And that sits very nicely. No problems there. I do see one. This is an issue, and not a big deal because this happens. Pewter does bend, but one thing with these gun barrels, things like this, when this happens due to packaging issues or whatever, you're going to get one bend out of this. So you do have to be very careful when you're putting pewter miniature. Now this also, I don't want to make it out like this happens all the time. So this is not like a, oh man, what is MERCS doing? This just happens. It's just in the nature of the beast with packaging miniatures. If this was in a blister pack, this could happen just as easily. The issue is, what you need to do is be very careful when you're doing your bend. A small pair of round pliers straightening the barrel out, because with pewter, unlike with lead, where lead you can kind of like bend it a bunch of times, and obviously with plastic this would have just broke, most plastics anyway. In this case, you're going to need to just bend it, but you really are only going to get one bend. If you bend it back and forth a bunch of times, it's going to snap. So just going to have to be careful when putting that guy together. think this is the Forward Observer. I really like his helmet. And so this one, you can see these vents here. These would get clipped off, and then the leg would go right in where that little hole is. The leg is going to peg right into there. All in all, I'm impressed with the sculpting. I think it's very well done. The miniatures all seem to have really cool poses. Dynamic poses. I don't know what this guy is, but he's got this crazy... I wonder if that's a grenade. We'll have to, we'll find out more as we dig into the box. And let's see. Now here's, so this would be this leg would go right in here. That would kind of be the parts fit there. And let's see. Gonna pull one more out. This is, let's see, who is this guy? Look over at the, this is the Pathfinder. And he's got this little device on his arm. And I wonder what that's for. That might be, on the card, it's got like a laser emitting out of it. Maybe this is the guy who guides the nuke in. Once again, really cool. Dynamic pose, very stylized armor. A lot to love here. Very fine mold line right up across the top here, but very easy to clean. Clean cast, detailed sculpt. So I think you guys will like them. Well, that was the Keizawaza starter kit box set. It's the first thing, this unboxing is the first thing we're doing to kick off a month of MERCS. Look for more articles. You can look for just general gaming articles, but also more content for MERCS this month, month of July, at www.playunplugged.com. Please make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure you follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook. I almost reversed it. And thank you very